Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, we always say that we have no friends. These other groups of people don't like us. The people that we've been with for 400 years don't like us. There's nobody we can trust. There's nobody that speaks up for us. We have no friends. Well, that might be true. In America, we have these right-wingers and these white nationalists and people like that. And so we feel like, well, they all think alike. And then once in a while, we are surprised that they don't necessarily all think alike. Ann Coulter is one of these people that you just don't know what she's going to say. She's unpredictable. She's always been associated with the Republicans and the right wing of the Republican Party. And I think a lot of black people don't quite know what to make of her. Ann Coulter is very outspoken, and she has some very strong feelings about certain groups. That would include immigrants, feminists, LGBTQ, liberals, Democrats, and basically anybody that doesn't agree with her. She's definitely interesting to listen to. She's charismatic in her own way. And as I said before, she's unpredictable because you never know what she's going to say. Mark Lamont Hill posted this video clip on his Twitter page, and it's Ann Coulter at her finest. And I thought you might get a kick out of it, so give it a listen.
Civil rights. The reason we are sensitive to racism is for one issue and one issue only, and that is how black Americans were treated in this country. It is because of the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. Those do not compare. Irish, the new groups, they always get a little bad treatment. Do not compare that to how blacks are treated in this country. You don't get to piggyback on the black experience in America. You do not get to do that just because you are a woman, an immigrant, gay, Hispanic. No, the rest of you can go F yourselves. No, this is for black Americans. We seem to have forgotten them. It's not a rainbow coalition.
Various groups, feminist, gay rights groups, and those who are defending immigrants have commandeered the black civil rights experience.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
There is the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow laws. We don't owe the homeless. We don't owe feminists. We don't owe women who are desirous of having abortion. That's what civil rights has become for much of the left. Wait, can I just say, what have we done to the immigrants? We owe black people something. We have a legacy of slavery. Immigrants haven't even been in this country. The black experience is different from any other experience in America. There is slavery. There is Jim Crow. So I really do resent it when people come along and say, well, you can't say the phrase illegal alien. Would you use the N-word? You can't say retard. Would you say the N-word? You can't say, I don't know, a million other things. They're always comparing it to the N-word. So the main point I want to make is no other word is like the N-word.
Ann Coulter for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody saw that coming.
CNN, people are going to say, Ann Coulter, this is one of the first times I've ever agreed with Ann Coulter, and it's on CNN. Mark this down in your calendar. But Ann, you've always felt this way. This isn't new for you, right?
It's not.
So I think we've heard these comments before coming from Ann Coulter, but this was the first time I've seen them all together with her saying them at different times to different people. I think that we have assumed that Ann Coulter was anti-black like the rest of the Republicans because she is a Republican. And she says horrible things about Democrats and liberals and Hillary Clinton. They just really despise Hillary Clinton. But we never knew what she thought about black people. At least I didn't. I didn't know what she thought about the civil rights movement and how she related the black experience to all these other groups that are coming in trying to co-opt the black experience, trying to make it seem like their experience in America was just as traumatic as ours. Now, wouldn't it be great if this message was widespread? If Republicans and Democrats embraced this message, it would be so much easier for us to get things done in America specific to Black Americans like they do with everybody else. It shouldn't be just one white woman out here speaking like this, one white woman who has a large platform, because she is telling the exact truth. The civil rights movement was not for everybody. It wasn't for white women. It wasn't about immigrants. It wasn't about gays. It wasn't about the homeless. It wasn't about anybody but Black people. It was about specifically the Black American experience that related back to slavery. And that is why America owes Black people. And she said it, and she says it with her full chest, unapologetically. But nobody else will pick up that message. Everybody else is trying to downplay Black people's interests and play up other people's interests, mainly because America does not want to acknowledge what was done to Black people. They don't want to acknowledge the damage, the tragedy, and the trauma of slavery. They want to brush it under the rug and say, oh, we all built the country. Immigrants built this country. No, they did not. Ann Coulter used to be on Fox News a lot, but I think she made somebody mad on that network, and I haven't seen her on there for a while, but I don't watch Fox News that much. But when I would see her on Fox News, she never talked about civil rights because it was always some president. It was President Obama. She said something offensive about Malia and Sasha Obama. So she's always saying things about the Democrats and the Democratic presidents. So she has separated the Democratic Party and the Democratic presidents from the civil rights movement, which is a very smart thing to do, because Black people's interests and the interests of the Democratic Party are not the same. So we're thinking that they're working for us, and that's exactly what they want us to think. But when we go through the platform and look at the fine print, we're nowhere to be found in their platform. So Ann Coulter is consistent in saying that the civil rights movement has been hijacked, and I think we all know that by now. Now everybody basically was a slave if you listen to them. Oh, we're all slaves to the system. Well, you know, they weren't slaves to the system, and they weren't picking any cotton. They weren't enslaved for 250 years where they couldn't even leave off the plantation without a slave pass. So they weren't enslaved. But when it comes down to Black Americans staking a claim to our history and to our struggle, everybody wants to get in on it. And I appreciate this particular clip, and it's not the first time I've heard something like this. But Mark Lamont Hill, I guess the point he was making was that she's consistent in sticking with this message that America doesn't owe anybody but Black Americans. Now, I've been thinking about this, and Dr. Umar Johnson is one of the few, if not the only, Black person with a real platform who will agree with Ann Coulter and who will say it with his full chest. Now, his credibility has been damaged with me because he hasn't opened that school. But he does speak on these issues with authority. And my question is, why aren't more people speaking like that? Now, we know those people in Congress are, I'm not going to say they're puppets, but they might be close to being puppets. So they can't say it. So they're not really of any use to Black people as a group. Black Americans are the only ones that are owed anything in this country. Women are not owed anything. Immigrants are not owed anything. And by the way, are y'all paying attention to that fiasco of an immigrant situation in New York? Now the mayor of New York City is crying uncle because his back is to the wall and he doesn't know what to do. Because they are just basically turning that city upside down. Well, it's their fault because they brought all those people in here and they have a true sense of entitlement. And before it's over, that's going to become a real problem in the United States of America. Now, Donald Trump is the only one who speaks out against them. But they are going to be a disaster in this country before it's over because all of those people are piling into those big cities and they're taking up the resources that the people of those cities should be getting, especially black people. So Ann Coulter's message is very timely, I think. And she's not a Democrat, so many Democrats don't like her. But the reality is the Democrats are creating this problem, and I don't know what's for. I have a relative who thinks that, well, they're bringing all those immigrants in because they want them to replace black people and vote Democratic, so the Democrats will permanently stay in office. I said they are not going to vote Democratic. Those people are going to vote Republican because they're trying to identify with white supremacy. So I thought you might find this clip interesting. And my feeling about this clip is that there needs to be more voices in America that are speaking out like Ann Coulter, because she is telling the truth. This country owes black people. And if you listen to some of them, they will have you thinking that immigrants built this country. The Democrats, more than anybody, are peddling that lie, including President Obama. Immigrants did not build this country. Immigrants came to this country, but the infrastructure of this country was built and paid for by slave labor. The enslaved people built the economy of the United States. So America doesn't owe anybody but black people. And that needs to be spoken of every time somebody gets up talking about running for office. But anyway, let me know what you think about this clip. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.